Okay, well, Bradley Tompkins, and we're going to fold this box. It's a new one I just designed, and this is just the diagram for it. I'm going to be following that diagram. This is a modified version of it, just a little bit additional treatment on the flaps right there. And I'm going to be teaching this later today, so in a live group. So I thought I would just get one of these done, do a little dry run. I hope you're there and enjoy folding. If you are and you'd like to interact with me, I would invite you to use the chat window and let me know you're there. The music is, by the way, from Groove Salad, Soma FM, my preferred music to listen to when I'm folding. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to follow the instructions that are right here on my diagram. All of my designs are original single sheet designs, origami boxes. And what I'm doing now is I'm simply marking the center of the paper, the middle. And I'm not creasing, I'm just simply marking it so that I can see where the center point is. And for the sake of the video, I'm going to mark it with pencil so you can see it a little bit more easily. You can do the same thing on yours, it just, you don't really need to, but need to adjust something really quick on my display. It looks like it's wanting to change focus, so just bear with me half a second while I just don't want that focus going in and out. Turn that off. Okay, I think that should do it. So I'm going to take and we're going to crease from one side to the other, meaning that just refresh this over here, see what we got. There we go. So I've marked that center point, and I'm going to also now get the quarter mark. And by that I mean I'm going to go edge to the center, and I'm just creasing very, very slightly, just a very, very light pinch right there so that I can see that. And I'm going to do it on both sides so I can see it both directions. So those pinch marks allow me to see the landmark I'm going to use on the next crease that we're going to do. I'm going to take the edge and we're going to go across to that quarter mark. Find my little creasing tool here. It pays to use a creasing tool of some kind. Your fingernail will work fine, but it's a little more comfortable when you fold a lot to just use a little tool, and it's a little bit better actually because it's very hard and gives a very nice crisp crease there. I'm going to open up. I'm going to go on the back side, and I want a diagonal crease going all the way through the page, intersecting that spot right there. And there's two landmarks that are evident where the quarter valley crease lines up with its adjacent one on the other side. You know, we've got it in the right location. So that's the way you know how far into the opposite side of the page that you need to go. Good. Now, if you are just watching and you're not following along, or you want to follow along, you know, if you're watching this later, obviously you can just pause it and see that you're caught up to where I am. One more to do here. This is a symmetrical box, so everything that we do is pretty much going to happen, 4 times. And these preliminary creases are important because when we're done, all of my designs have the quality of they don't have any leftover creases. You know what I mean? When a lot of origami designs, they just say, take the page and crease it all the way in half, and you'll have an X or some kind of preliminary crease that's really not part of the final. Well, I want this thing to look like a gift-worthy box when I'm done. I want it to really look good. We're taking the corners and folding them to the inside. And I think I will go ahead and crease all the way through this. So remember, we marked that halfway point at the beginning, so this is where that comes into play. And if your paper is not square, or if you have done any of your other creases inaccurately, you're going to find that out because the points won't line up in the middle, as mine don't here. It's not that big a deal, but it will, affect the symmetry of the box when we're done. Okay, so got that done. Next thing we're going to do is I want a mountain crease in this outer section right here. So we're going to flip it over. And while we're there, I'm going to go ahead and let's see if this is the point I want to do that. Yep. So while I'm there, I'm going to crease this little dog ear right there. Same thing on the other side. Creasing, nice strong crease there. And we're opening this back up, but I want this crease mark in there. So what that does is it gives us gives you a valley on this side and a mountain on that side. Let's do the same thing on this one. Now I'm not creasing all the way through the middle of the paper, just this top portion right here. Same thing on this side. The next thing we want to do is I want a mountain crease right across here. So I'm going to flip it over, and using the top of that triangle as my landmark, we're going to crease all the way across, and we're going to go all the way across to the 1/8 or the 3/8 mark across the street there. And then once more, a mountain crease right there. Decorated paper is a little bit hard to see, so I'm checking it. The paper I'm using is from the French paper company. It's called Parch Tone, and it has been hand dyed. So that gives me a color on one side and the original color on the back. And I do this rather than origami paper because, well, it is origami paper, but it's not designed for that. It's not kami, the type that you see at craft stores when you go and buy origami paper. All right, the next step is there's not too many steps in this particular process, but earlier we had creased this diagonal, and and it caused that mountain crease all the way across the page. What I want to do is to reverse this portion of that right here. So I'm just going to pick the paper up, fold it over, and just reverse that portion right there on all four sides. So there's already a mountain crease there, and all I'm doing is reversing it, making it into a valley just along this upper portion. Okay, that's it. Now we're ready to start collapsing this box and forming it the way it's going to be. So what we're going to do is what we call confirm the creases. We want to look at all of them and make sure that everything that I originally made to be a mountain still shows up as a mountain crease and valley and so on. So just kind of been playing with the paper for a few minutes, so I'm just checking to make sure it's crisp creases there. All right. Now what I'm doing is we're going to work with just this portion, one side at a time, one portion, and let's just do this one right here. I'm going to bring those together, and it will cause this little triangular shape to emerge in the box. We just bring those two together like that, and what's going to happen is you'll see we have this crease that we did earlier. Go ahead and let that crease happen now, and then turning it sideways, you can drop this down into the box like so. I'm just kind of rolling it with my fingers, and I want this surface to be flat against the outside of the box. And on the outside you can look at it and see, okay, what do I have here? Just make sure that it's neat and secure. So we'll do this several more times, 3 more times. So okay, so just looking at it, I'm going to bring the two together. We're going to pinch that down and then allow it to lay flat against the little triangular structure underneath there, just like that. And while I'm there, remember we did those little mountain creases, so now's the time I can go ahead and use those. I'll do the first one and the second one. We'll just stop right there. And in a minute, after we get all of them done, this will be one of those flaps. So let's go to the next one. Pinch those together, drop the little dog ear inside, and then using my thumb and forefinger, I'm just rolling that structure so that it's flat against the little pyramid shape that's inside the box. And I'm done with that. I'll come back to that later, but we're done with that portion of the box. Okay. It'll look just like that when we proceed. Okay, so same thing. The last one will get pretty, it'll be sort of tight, you know what I mean? There's not much room left for your hand or your fingers to get in there when you get this pinched down. That's one of the reasons that I chose the size of paper that I did. I don't want some really small sheet of paper because it's tough to work with it, and if it's real small. Last one, exactly the same procedure. Now I'm about ready to close these, but this is what the box looks like before you do any closing of these flaps. This is the point where you could put something in there, right? Like a little gift or some candy or a note or whatever it is that you're going to conceal in there as your little gift. So what we're going to do is drop the first flap. I'm just picking one. I'm just going to drop that flap down into the box like so, and then conceal that flap with the one just to the right. Do that one. The third one. And you can see what's going to happen. I'm going to need to, like those moving boxes where you have the flap that's open there, I need to put this one underneath the first one. So just kind of, once it's been done once, you kind of train the box, you train the paper to know where it's supposed to go, and then after that it'll kind of remember those creases. Just do any minor straightening you need to do to get it to lay flat and look correct. I've got my little tool here and I can kind of pop those up just a little bit. And if you're really careful, you won't have that little underlying structure showing up right there, but not a big deal. Another little inaccuracy here when I was creasing, a little bit of this mountain structure should go straight across, but at any rate, that's the particular one. It's called Fairway, and the optional, or the other one that I did here, there's one of my rules in my origami boxes is to avoid having any leftover creases, which we talked about, nothing on the bottom, but also to no raw edges. I don't want the raw edge of the paper from the original sheet to show up, and it does in fact on this one. It's very small, but a little tiny piece right there. And so you could fold this again yourself and create a little tiny crease or a little hem around the paper all the way around. And if you do that, then it gives you a little additional decoration in addition to the fact that then there would be no raw edge. So it's up to you if you like that rule as I do. This is an optional way to do it. But the box is, it won't flop open. It's utility. It's something you can use to put a little something in, a little decorative thing. And I hope you enjoy that and enjoy folding. And if you're not familiar with my work, my website, foldthisbox.com, you can purchase the books there. They are also available on Amazon. It's just simply called Fold This Box, Volume 1 and Volume 2. If you do purchase them on my website, I will send you bonuses. So different types of paper, additional like this hand decorated paper, I usually include that. I also include some unpublished diagrams that you won't find anywhere else, so I'll put those in there as well. So anyway, check out the website if you like, foldthisbox.com. Hope you enjoyed that. See you again.